Potential concerns regarding Christmas tree lighting across a room can involve several factors. Firstly, there's the fire hazard. Christmas lights, especially if old or damaged, can overheat and potentially start a fire. The close proximity of these lights to combustible materials, such as drapes or decorations, significantly increases the risk. Secondly, overloading is a concern. Plugging multiple strands of lights into a single outlet or power strip can easily overload the circuit, leading to a fire. Thirdly, trip hazards are a possibility. Loose or dangling light wires can create a tripping hazard, particularly in areas with high-foot traffic. Fourthly, electrical shock is a risk. Faulty wiring or improper installation of the lights can lead to electrical shock. Fifthly, aesthetics are a consideration. The lights may not be aesthetically pleasing or create the desired ambience in all situations. To mitigate these concerns, several recommendations can be followed. Firstly, use light-emitting diode lights. Light-emitting diode lights consume less energy and generate less heat than incandescent bulbs, effectively reducing the fire hazard. Secondly, limit the number of strands used. Avoid using multiple strands of lights per run, especially if they are plugged into the same outlet or power strip. Thirdly, implement regular inspection and testing. Inspect the lights and wiring before each use to ensure they are in good condition and free of damage. Fourthly, securely mount the lights. String lights safely and securely to prevent them from falling or becoming a hazard. Fifthly, monitor temperature. Use a thermometer to monitor the temperature around the lights to ensure they are not overheating. Sixthly, consider alternatives. Explore alternative lighting options, such as battery-powered candles or uplighting, which may not pose the same safety concerns. When considering codes and regulations, several guidelines typically apply. Firstly, NFPA 70, the National Electrical Code, sets minimum safety standards for electrical installations, including lighting. It typically requires that lights be approved for their intended use and installed according to manufacturer's instructions. Secondly, NFPA 101, the Life Safety Code, focuses on life safety in buildings, including the prevention of fires. It may restrict the use of certain types of lighting in specific areas or require additional safety features. When communicating with the fire inspector to resolve any issues, it is important to firstly obtain a copy of the code violation. Request a copy of the specific code section that is believed to be violated, so that the inspector's concerns can be fully understood. Secondly, discuss safety measures. Explain the safety measures that have been taken, such as using light-emitting diode lights, limiting the number of strands, and inspecting the lights regularly. Thirdly, propose a compromise. If possible, propose a compromise solution that addresses the fire inspector's concerns while still allowing the use of the Christmas lights for a limited period. For example, you could agree to use a fire-resistant material to conceal the lights or install a fire suppression system. It is important to document all efforts by keeping records of all communication with the fire inspector and any actions taken to mitigate the safety risks. Considering the electrical aspects further, it's crucial to understand how circuits and power sources interact with the lighting setup. The National Electrical Code, in Section 210.21, addresses the permissible loads for branch circuits. For example, a 20 amp circuit can typically handle a certain amount of continuous load, and exceeding this can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. Standard Christmas lights, whether incandescent or light-emitting diode, have a specific wattage. Incandescent bulbs generally consume more power than light-emitting diode bulbs. By calculating the total wattage of all the lights being used and dividing it by the voltage of the circuit, typically 120 volts in a standard receptacle, the total current draw in amps can be determined. If the total current draw approaches or exceeds 80% of the circuit breaker's rating, steps should be taken to reduce the load or distribute the lights across multiple circuits. Power strips, while convenient, also have a maximum amperage rating. Ensure that the power strip being used is rated for the total current draw of the lights plugged into it. Using a power strip with a lower rating than the load can cause it to overheat and fail, creating a fire hazard. Extension cords should also be used with caution. Use heavy-duty extension cords that are rated for the amperage of the lights. Avoid using long extension cords as they can cause voltage drop, which can damage the lights and create a fire hazard. The National Electrical Code Section 400 covers flexible cords and cables, including extension cords. It specifies the types of cords that are suitable for different applications and the proper methods for using them. Inspecting the lights regularly involves checking for frayed wires, cracked sockets, and loose connections. These can all create electrical hazards. If any damage is found, the light should be repaired or replaced immediately. When mounting the lights, use appropriate hardware that is rated for the weight of the lights and the type of surface they are being attached to. Avoid using nails or staples to attach the lights, as these can damage the wires and create a short circuit. Use plastic clips or hooks that are designed for stringing lights. The height at which the lights are hung can also be a factor. If the lights are hung too low, they can be a tripping hazard. Ensure that the lights are hung at a height that is safe for people to walk under. When considering alternative lighting options, battery-powered candles and uplighting offer a safer alternative to traditional Christmas lights. Battery-powered candles eliminate the risk of electrical shock and fire. Uplighting, which involves shining lights upwards onto walls or ceilings, can create a festive ambience without the need for stringing lights across the room. These lights typically use light-emitting diode bulbs, which consume very little power and generate very little heat. Addressing fire safety concerns directly often involves the use of fire-resistant materials. For example, using a fire-resistant fabric to conceal the lights can help to prevent a fire from spreading if one were to occur. These fabrics are typically treated with a flame-retardant chemical that makes them difficult to ignite. Installing a fire suppression system, such as a sprinkler system or a fire extinguisher, can also help to mitigate the risk of fire. These systems are designed to quickly extinguish a fire before it can spread. It is important to have a fire evacuation plan in place in case of a fire. This plan should include clearly marked escape routes and a designated meeting point outside the building. Everyone who will be in the building should be familiar with the fire evacuation plan. Communicating with the fire inspector is a crucial step in ensuring that the lighting setup is safe and compliant with local codes. The fire inspector is responsible for enforcing fire safety regulations and can provide valuable guidance on how to make the lighting setup safer. When discussing the lighting setup with the fire inspector, be prepared to answer questions about the type of lights being used, the number of strands being used, the power source, and the safety measures that have been taken. Be prepared to provide documentation, such as the manufacturer's specifications for the lights and the power strip being used. If the fire inspector identifies any potential hazards, be prepared to take corrective action. This may involve modifying the lighting setup, adding additional safety measures, or removing the lights altogether. Keep a record of all communication with the fire inspector, including the date, time, and content of each conversation. This will help to document the steps that have been taken to address the fire inspector's concerns. Beyond the immediate electrical and fire safety considerations, there are also broader implications for the overall safety and well-being of occupants in the reception hall. Emergency lighting systems are crucial for ensuring safe evacuation during power outages or other emergencies. These systems typically consist of battery-powered lights that automatically activate when the normal power supply fails. Regular testing and maintenance of emergency lighting systems are essential to ensure they are functioning properly. Exit signs must be clearly visible and properly illuminated to guide occupants to safety during an evacuation. The placement and illumination of exit signs are regulated by building codes. Fire alarm systems are designed to detect fires early and alert occupants to evacuate. These systems typically include smoke detectors, heat detectors, and manual pull stations. Regular testing and maintenance of fire alarm systems are essential to ensure they are functioning properly. Addressing potential trip hazards involves more than just securing light wires. Consider the overall layout of the room and identify any other potential trip hazards, such as loose rugs or uneven flooring. Make sure that walkways are clear and free of obstructions. Providing adequate lighting throughout the reception hall can also help to prevent accidents. Make sure that all areas are well lit, including walkways, stairwells, and exits. This will help occupants to see potential hazards and avoid accidents. Training staff on fire safety procedures is essential. Staff should be trained on how to use fire extinguishers, how to evacuate the building, and how to assist occupants with disabilities. Regular fire drills can help to reinforce these procedures and ensure that everyone knows what to do in case of a fire. Regularly reviewing and updating safety procedures is essential. As the reception hall evolves and changes, it is important to review and update safety procedures to ensure that they are still effective. This includes reviewing fire evacuation plans, emergency lighting systems, and fire alarm systems. By taking a comprehensive approach to safety, it is possible to create a safe and enjoyable environment for all occupants of the reception hall. This involves addressing electrical and fire safety concerns, mitigating trip hazards, providing adequate lighting, and training staff on safety procedures. Regular review and updates of safety procedures are essential to ensure that they remain effective over time.